welcome to or welcome back to Book and Prejudice. My name is Matt and this is my January wrap-up / February TBR. A little bit of a disclaimer, by the time I'm recording this, it's already the 10th of February, so I'm already a little bit into my February TBR, but I still wanted to record this video because I wanted to talk about all of the wonderful books that I read in January, which are not that many. January was not a legitimately good month for me reading wise. I only read 3 books, but still, some of them were really good and I wanted to share them with you. So with further ado, let's get on with the first video, which is The Promise by Damon Galcott. Now, Greg has this great tradition for me, frankly, of gifting me the winner of the Booker Prize every year for Christmas, and this was the 2021 Booker Prize winner. This story narrates the life of a family. It's kind of like a generational, but not really, because it's all seen through the eyes of the daughter. And what it does is when the mother dies, she promises the house to the housekeeper. Now, this book takes place in South Africa, which means that the family, who is white, could own property. However, the housekeeper and her family were not allowed to own property at the time, which is the basis to why the family does not uphold the promise that the father made to the mother. There's several tragic events that take place, and through each of those tragic events, the youngest daughter, asks, "Are you giving the house to the housekeeper?" And it is sort of her fight to keep her mother's dying wish. And it really was a great way of showing how racism was so tied to this society that even though you could argue, and these characters argue, that they're not racist, they still had a hard time considering their housekeeper as someone that could keep a house, like could own a house, like could own property. I won't say how the book ends, but I thought it was really poignant. It was really well written. It really brought life to a subject that I personally don't know much about. Don't know much about the South African laws and how they developed post-apartheid. So I was very interested by this. Also, the main character does a fantastic job of showing how taxing it can be on one person's body and mind to go against their family constantly over and over and over again, because that's what she does, and you can definitely see how hard it is for her and her day-to-day life. It also showcases a lot of different issues, such as changes in religion, homosexuality, and how all of this affects your day-to-day life. So it was a great book. I gave this 5 stars. Would have given it more, but Goodreads doesn't allow. But yeah, definitely, I think the best book I read in January. The Promise by Damon Galcott. Thank you, my love, for getting it for me. The next book I read was terrible. It was The Mitford Murders, and I think I gave it, let me very quickly check how much I gave this, because I didn't give it much stars. And I gave it 2 stars. So that's how bad I thought it was. I didn't like it at all. I love Julian Fellowes. He wrote Belgravia, which is one of my all-time favorite historical fiction books. He also wrote Snobs, which was terrible. But this is his niece, and if you know me, I'm obsessed with the Mitford sisters, and on that part, it was great. The problem that I had with this book is that it was pretty bad. It would get a spike of being really good, and then would go back to being really bad. So every time I get to one of those spikes, to be like, oh my god, this book is awesome. But all in all, it was quite bad. Anyways, let's get into what this book is actually about, and not just ranting about why it's bad. It follows the life of Louisa Cannon, who is this woman who lives in an abusive home. She fleds to become kind of like a babysitter, a companion to the older Mitford children, and she becomes a really weirdly nice friendship with Nancy Mitford, which I found it was a bit odd, but they were not that different in age. So I think Louisa was like 19 and Nancy Mitford was 16. Also, if you don't know who Nancy Mitford is, she is a writer of The Pursuit of Love and a lot of other books that she has written. And yeah, that's how my obsession began. Anyways, Nancy and Louisa form this friendship, and Nancy becomes obsessed with solving the murder of Florence Nightingale Shore. Not the nurse, but the nurse's goddaughter. And somehow Louisa gets entrenched into this whole mess. Nancy becomes obsessed with it, and it's just a little bit weird. But I didn't like it because I just don't think it was done properly. Like, I got lost so many times throughout the books. Didn't love it, frankly, but good book regardless. If you're looking for something, you know, easy to read. Frankly, there's 6 of this series, and I thought when I first started reading, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna get all 6. I'm so excited for this. I'm not gonna continue the series. This is the one book I've read, and I don't think I'm gonna read much more about Jessica Fellows again in a while, Crocodile. So that's what happened. And the last book that I read in January is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. This follows the life of Agnieszka, whose town and whose valley is protected by someone called the Dragon, which isn't a dragon, it's a wizard, which was disappointing. Every 10 years, the dragon picks up a girl who he keeps for the next 10 years, and she happens to get picked. And it just kind of follows her life on the tower. And at the same time, there's this threat that's threatening the valley. Good job, Mark. But there's this threat on the valley where they live, which the dragon helps protect. And it basically means that the forest is trying to eat them alive. And they can plant little seeds on your heart, and you can become completely corrupted. And then you have to be killed. Like a dog, they need to put you down. It was weird. Anyways, I really like this book, but my problem with Naomi Novik, and this is important because of my TBR, my problem with Naomi Novik is that it's hard to keep up with her. I'm someone that's really moved by dialogue. Like, I need very dynamic books. This book and other books that I've read of hers just go pages and pages and pages of dialogue, and there's stuff happening, but it's boring to read for me. So I love this. I gave it 3 stars just because it was lacking that dynamicism. I don't know. It was not very dynamic. I don't know what I'm saying. Why am I using words wrong today? Anyways, it wasn't very dynamic. Just because like you get this like impressive fighting scenes, but they would just be page after page after page, and like honestly, I skimmed parts of it. And then I was like, whoa, wait, what happened? And I had to reread the pages because I was so confused. But it was a good book. I liked it. Again, it would have probably been a 5-star had it been a bit more dynamic for my tasting. If you're not someone that cares that much about dialogue, this is a really good book for you then. So those are the 3 books that I read in January. As you can see, they were not the best reading month. I aim for 4 books a month minimum, but let's get into my February TBR because it's good. It's so, oh my god. Okay, let me get the books and then I'll get like into why it's good. Okay, so the first book that I'm reading is the Page Turner's book club book, which I picked. Now, if you don't know this because you haven't been subscribed to the channel for long, last 2020, December 2020, it was my turn to pick up the book club book, and I picked, one second please. I picked A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, simply because the cover was pretty and I had been in my bookshop for a while. Now, I am fully aware that it says lesson 1 of the School of Mans, but I didn't realize it was a series. We had a very big no series allowed. Didn't stop me though. Book the series. It's my turn to pick a book. Guess what just came up in December? So yeah, The Last Graduate. Lesson 2 of the School of Mans. Now I can see why it would be considered a series. But this is my pick. I'm reading it. I'm almost done with it actually. I'm hoping to finish it tonight, if I'm honest. I'm on page 306. It's great. It's great. Again, same problem as I have with Uprooted, same problem I have with Deadly Education. It's a lot happens without dialogue, and that's very hard for me to keep up with because I'm very much moved by dialogue. But if that doesn't mind you, it's really good. I love Elle and her being like this sassy little person, and I love how her relationship with Orion develops in this book. It's really cute. It's very well done because they're 17, 18. Everyone's really weird at 17, 18. So it's just great. I think it's done really wonderfully. So go them for doing a good job with it. But I will admit, and I will say, this book is better than the first one. The first one, I don't know if you guys remember, had a lot of like, I'm gonna go with racist as the best way of putting it. Very racist outlooks of the world. And Naomi Novik did address them and everything, and it was really well addressed. This book, it's not going so much down the race route as it is going down the privilege route. The enclavers versus the indie wizards, basically. And that's really nice. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's greatly done. I like this book a lot more than I liked A Deadly Education, and I liked A Deadly Education a lot. So yeah, this is the first book that I'm reading in February. I'm almost done with it. I'm hoping to be done with it today. Next. It's not last. It's the last, but it's the next. Next, I'm reading Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik, and it is the last of the Naomi Novik books that I'm gonna read for a while. Need a break because I've been reading her for 2 months now, and that is Spinning Silver. I am very excited to read this book. It's a Rumpelstiltskin retelling of some sort. It's really cool because it's very similar to the Uprooted cover, but they're not a series, but it matches my nails as well. Fancy. I really am excited to read this book. I think it's gonna be great. I'm very excited for it. I'm also very excited to kind of be done with Naomi Novik, if I'm honest, because it's getting to be a little. It's just that I'm not always entertained by her style. It takes me a while to get used to it. Like, I'll open the book and be like, ugh, but if I can get past the first 10 minutes, I love it. So yeah, I'm reading Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik next as well. I'm also going to be reading Gathania by Sofia Barra, one of my cousin's books. I'm very excited. This book is about a girl who gets abducted. So there's going to be a lot of trigger warnings with it. I don't know which to say yet because I don't know much about the book. But my cousin, this is not written by my cousin, sorry, it's published by my cousin. And my cousin did say that, like, to be a little bit weary of it, just like make sure that you're in the right mental headspace, which is very kind of her to say. And that's the exact same thing that I'm telling you guys if you do read it. It's in Spanish, which I'm trying to read at least one Spanish book each month this year as well, which is gonna be a little bit hard because I don't have that many in my TBR. But yeah, I'm gonna read this. Very excited for this. I'm also gonna try and read, and this is the last book that I think I'm gonna try and read. This is gonna be like February to carry on into March. Is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. No idea what this book is about, but I need to read it at some point, so that's all I have to say about this. It's been in my TBR for so long, I need to read it, that's all. But now, let's get into it. Because, as you heard, today is the 10th. Guess what happens on the 15th? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, the new Sarah J Maas book comes out. You can bet your sweet little butts I'm gonna be reading that the moment I get it. I am on the pre-order for the Waterstones limited edition because, you know, my partner loves me very much. And I don't know if you guys remember, way back when, one of my first books, I think even my first book, was me reading Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood. Loved it so much, and I'm very excited to say that I will be also doing a vlog for me reading, or me starting to read, House of Sky and Bread, which I'm very excited to read. I love this book so much. Like, Greg got me the Waterstones edition, which is like red on the sides and has that extra chapter. So I'm very excited to continue this journey and continue this new series of that Sarah J Maas has started. I love Crescent City, and I surprisingly have a pretty good recollection of this, mostly because my friend sent me a TikTok saying all of the things that we should remember. So that was nice of her. Thank you, Telia. But I'm very excited to read this. I'm so excited for it to come out. I don't have it with me, so I'm just rattling this one because I don't have the other one, but you can see the cover in like the screen somewhere. And I'm very excited. I'm gonna go pick it up the 15th. I cancelled my French class for this. I told my French teacher, I was like, I'm not gonna be doing the lesson. I'm gonna be reading the book. I'm gonna go pick it up with Greg. We're gonna have like a little coffee date in which I will start the book. And then I'm gonna hopefully read part of it. I have my second dose of the vaccine the 15th, so I'm hoping I'll feel better and feel good enough to get it. But I'm very excited to read it. I'm so excited to read it. I'm also I don't Sarah J Maas has a very special place in my heart because it's one of those authors that really bonded my friendship group. And you know, for years my friends were telling me to read Throne of Glass, read Throne of Glass, read Throne of Glass, and I never did, and I'm so annoyed that I never listened to them. But now that we do, it really does give us a lot to talk about, frankly. We love Sarah J Maas. We're big Sarah J Maas fans in our house. And by house I mean friendship group on WhatsApp. Anyways, there you have it. That is my January TBR, no, my January wrap up and my February TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And for more bookish content, please don't forget to go to my Instagram, which is @bookandprejudice, where you will find more bookish content, such as the reel that I am about to film. Wish me luck, by the way. So yeah, I will see you guys next week. Until then, bye bye.